Hey, this is a Clos from Cosmic Commentary, and I just thought of a topic that came to mind with the transfer window coming in now, and it really typifies, I guess, I don't know, the financial dominance of the Premier League. I mean, the way that the money's spread out for anyone who doesn't know, the money is basically distributed evenly. It's a meritocracy. All the clubs get money based on where they finish in the league. And as a contrast to example, the Spanish league, who give all their money to the teams that have, well, all the views, which get all the people to go, which I guess is fair enough. Like, you want to be, I guess, giving money back to the clubs that bring all the fans in. But, of course, it's sort of like a bit of a cycle, the most successful teams are going to get watched the most. I mean, this is TV rights. This isn't about gate receipts or anything like that. This is the teams that get the most coverage on TV, then get all the money coming back to them, and then they become more successful, and then they obviously get more of their game shown, because not every game is shown, obviously. And then, of course, they become more successful, and it's just a recurring thing. Barcelona, Real Madrid get all the money. Atletico Madrid, of course, has jumped onto that bandwagon lately, and so they're doing their bit. They're getting better. But the point is that in the Premier League, it's different, obviously, and because of that, I assume it's because of that, it's made the league more exciting. Teams are closer together. You can see teams that had no chance in hell of doing anything won the league. At Leicester, they went from being bottom of the table in December to winning the league a year and a half later. So, look, this is probably pointing to how badly the other teams did as well. But at the same time, I mean, that's quite an achievement, and it's just got this, I guess, you're instilling belief in the teams that are in the Premier League. But all that aside, my point here being is that Leicester recently, they snagged Sevilla's captain, I believe. I'm not sure if he's still their captain anymore, but a player playing for a strong team in the Spanish league. I mean, this is the team that has won the Europa League 3 seasons straight. Last season they didn't win it because they were in the Champions League, and the fact that a player from a team like that, that's a team in a good position. They're pushing for Champions. They're going to be in Champions League again. Actually, I'm not sure if they're going to be in Champions League this season, but he went to Leicester, who are definitely not going to be in Champions League. They're not going to be in Europa League. They're not going to be in anything. Sevilla's at least going to be in the Europa League. And it just goes to show that, I mean, last season as well, we had Grosicki going from France, Rennes, I believe it was, and yeah, signing for Hull City, who were fighting for their lives, and Raiola as well, a top centre back who's full international for Italy, and Grosicki as well, full international for Poland. These are teams that are doing quite well at the moment, and they're coming to just to play in the Premier League. And some people say they're money grabbers, but I mean, I would argue it's much more for the challenge and the physicality and the fact that, I mean, you look at La Liga and you've got you've got 3 teams at the top, well above the rest, and then there's a big gap. You get to Sevilla, and Villarreal might be nearby. I think they might have hopscotched Sevilla this season. I'm not sure. They're sort of having a bit of a neck and neck, and it used to be Valencia in there as well. But look, they're nowhere near fighting for the title ever since Rafa Benitez won the title with them, with Valencia. Then it's not been close, really. It's just Real Madrid, Barcelona, and of course Atletico Madrid with a cameo every now and then. But it's not open. Whereas if you look to the Premier League and you've got you've got 6 teams battling for 4 spots, for the 4 Champions League spots. This season they got lucky, and 5 of those teams will be in the Champions League thanks to Manchester United's effort in the Europa League. But other than that, it's really competitive and close. And then you've got, of course, Everton right up there as well, looking for that Europa League spot, and Southampton trying to get in there too. I mean, it's not even for the even up to eighth spot. I mean, it's ridiculously competitive, and it's just so difficult to even make it into the top half of the league. Whereas you look at La Liga, and basically, uh, as someone who doesn't watch probably as many games as I do Premier League games, but I keep tabs on the league, and a lot of those league, maybe 12 teams, the bottom 12 teams would struggle to survive in the Premier League. Um, and that just paves the way for, teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid. And I mean, players basically, unless they're playing for Real Madrid or Barcelona, maybe Atletico Madrid, they're just not interested anymore. And when you've got guys from Sevilla coming across to play for a team that's really a nothing in the Premier League now. I mean, they won the title, sure, last season, not last season, but the season before. But other than that, I mean, there's not really much of a future there. I mean, there's, I guess they'll probably want to stabilise and sort of end up in the mid-table range and possibly, I don't know, challenge for a Europa League spot at best. But I mean, he's just coming to play in the Premier League, and that, like, to me, is astounding. And those players, of course, that moved from their respective leagues, from top Italian club and a top French club, or French club that's it's competing, and I'll just let this train go by because they're awfully loud here. Teams that are competing at they're strong teams, surely stronger than Hull City, uh, but they'd rather go to Hull City because they know that they'll get seen by other clubs, and if they get relegated, which they did, then they'll get picked up as they are getting picked up now. So it's something I guess quite astonishing, and I feel like this season in the Champions League with 5 English teams in the Champions League, I think they're going to go. Well, I think they're going to do quite well. I mean, they've not been good in the last few seasons, but this season I feel like they've sort of I don't know, found themselves, established who they are, and they'll have a bit of a better run at it this season. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, actions speak louder than words. So once they get out there, and we'll see if Liverpool can even make it into the group stages. But after that, they're going to get a horrible draw along with Tottenham. They're going to have to fight their way up. But the way Tottenham played last season, and in spurts the way Liverpool played last season, you got to give them a chance to, like, if they get out of the group stages, it's possible that all 5 teams will get out of the group stages. They're that strong. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I guess really putting this this thought towards what's going to happen. I mean, like, all the good players have come to the Premier League. All the best managers are there, and really, I mean, there's maybe one club in any other league that, other than the Spanish league, that other players will want to go to. I mean, the German league, it's all going towards Bayern Munich. You might have a handful of players that go to Dortmund and Leipzig now, but it's less convincing. It's not as enticing, because they've just got no one to compete against. And Bayern Munich, they they finished their season basically 6 games away from the end, and because they just won the season, they're that many points ahead of everybody else, and their season finishes early anyway. And by the time it gets to the tough part of the Champions League, then they got no games, they got no competitive games to play, and it's probably hurt them in the last few seasons. They just can't keep that competitive edge and get over the line. And same with Juventus. I mean, they usually finish their season a bit early too, but they've got no one to fight against really, and they play a lot of their games as basically they feel their second string team, because they don't need to win the points because they're just focused so much on Europe, and Spain. I mean, that's a different thing altogether. As I said before, it's ridiculously uncompetitive at the lower end of the table, and the bottom 12 teams, basically over at half time when Barcelona and Real Madrid play. I mean, the amount of 7-1, 6-0 drubbings that you see there, I'm surprised that they don't hit double digits more often, to be honest, because they're such a poor caliber of teams that just don't seem to care. And in the Premier League, obviously, you've got even the teams battling relegation, especially really the teams battling relegation. They put up they win games, you know. Especially when they're at home, like even against the top teams, and even when the top teams have a lot to play for. So it's really unfair. I think how a lot of people are putting down to, you know, English teams' failure in Europe down to them being of lower quality, but I think a lot of it comes down to something more. But I guess we'll see. They're just gonna keep accumulating these great players from all over Europe, and we'll keep getting better. But really, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's going to be an interesting league because it's sort of like an immigration thing. You know, you've got the Europe's best and brightest all coming to England, and you're not seeing many of them leave anymore. You know, they're all staying, because if they don't sign up for one team, then they go to another. And you're even hearing things of Manchester United grabbing Real Madrid players. You know, the fringe players that aren't getting a game, then they're all coming to England. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Champions League season goes, and just the Premier League season too. To be honest, we'll see if those top teams can keep those top spots, or if teams like Arsenal, Manchester United, and possibly even Everton will come charging back and really pushing for those top four spots, especially with everyone distracted with Europe. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, yeah. Hope you hope that wasn't too much of a bore. But yeah, definitely check out our stuff. We like to do some tutorial videos, sort of. That's sort of our specialty at the moment. We're trying to teach everyone going through AFL things at the moment, because there's off season, of course. But we'll be getting back into EPL stuff soon. But also check out, got a new Tumblr account as well. Just wrote an article on similar topics, so check that out if you're into reading stuff. And yeah, hopefully see you again soon.